Welcome to the podcast. I'm Dana Publicover,
I'm Ross Chapman.
and we are go-getters.
This is a podcast about ambitions and all the shit that gets in the way.
Like how we're wearing the same outfit today.
And I don't know how many pairs of glasses you have.
A lot of pairs of glasses.
Like, how many, actually?
12. Because I have two 5 glasses containers, like nice little boxes where you put them in, and then I have 2 that don't fit in there.
Okay, but how did you get to having 12?
Some of them are not the current prescription.
Okay.
But in the
sentimental.
I plan to get them re-lensed. Yeah, it's not terribly expensive. It's just inconvenient to do it. But the glasses themselves were all relatively cheap because I have good glasses connections. I'll put a link. I'll put a link in the thing because then I think if I put my link, people get $5 and I get $5.
No way. Cool.
Can you do that? Is that legal?
I have no idea. Referral links. Yeah, that should be fun.
Referral link. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Germans have a lot of really nice glasses shops,
Mm-hmm.
and those are open. Nothing else is open. So I'm thinking I could scratch my shopping itch by buying a pair in person. There's a pair I've really been spying. They're like really thick. They're like thick cat eye. And then they're black, and then they have a tortoise stem. I don't know what you call this part. Stem. Kind of want those. So if you see those on me, you know that I have broken down.
I thought you'd be eating them because the supermarket's still closed. So
they are still closed. Yeah, they'll be open tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Then you can eat.
Yeah. Then I can eat. I've been doing a lot of cooking. Actually, we got takeout tonight. The takeout places are open, surprisingly, for Easter week, which actually is what I was going to talk to you for my life segment. So I'm going to start the clock.
Go into it.
That. So it's the Easter holidays. Everything is closed. I am Jewish. I don't celebrate Easter. My husband was raised Catholic. He's no longer practicing. So we don't celebrate Easter, but Easter is a big deal here in Germany. And I felt really bad for the first time ever that everyone was doing these Easter egg hunts, and they were doing baskets for the kids, and there were toys everywhere. And it's kind of like Christmas. People were getting like bicycles for Easter. I have never heard of this. Yeah. So I had all this horrible guilt, which I guess is a very Jewish thing. But I was also having guilt because last weekend was Passover, and Passover did kind of stretch on, but I never stick with it that long anyway, because I'm not really a good Jew either. And we did probably like a 10-minute Seder, the holiday meal for Passover. And I made one food, and that food was matzah toffee. So matzah, the crackers, and then you melt some chocolate on the top, you put some sprinkles. That's about it. That's as far as I got into Passover. So I feel a tremendous amount of guilt, but I'm sorry, like our second Passover in lockdown, I just didn't have the energy for it.
What would you normally do outside of lockdown? Is it like this huge thing and everything?
Yeah, it's my favorite holiday. It's I love to cook, and I love history and tradition, and I usually have a big Passover. I usually have 10 to 20 people of varying faiths and lifestyles at my house, and it's always really awesome. I love being a host to that. Last year we didn't do it, and we did just a family, just the 4 of us with the kids, and the kids were only 2 last year, so they were tough. It was a tough Seder. So the Seder usually goes maybe 4 or 5 hours, and you're kind of eating in between there, but you really don't get to eat for a while. So we did like a 30-minute Seder with the kids 2 years ago, and last year, I mean. Anyway, tell me about your life.
My life, this episode. So we also had Easter. I guess we're still in it. It's Easter Monday today, so it'll finish end of today. And my children have had chocolate. I did not buy myself any chocolate and I feel fine about it. And I remember as a child, I would eat through chocolate. I wouldn't save any. My children save it. Like it just is there.
That's
I
amazing.
like at the end of the day, I clean up and close the door, and there's still chocolate in their like case and things. It's really, really crazy. So yeah. Well, we've had a bit of a kind of discovery. My wife Steph, we worked our way through one division. So Steph and I have been working our way through WandaVision, which is just a kind of setup, and it's a good set of films on Disney Plus. And then out of that, she wanted to start watching some Marvel films. I'm not a
Oh.
huge Marvel fan. I didn't have the comics or anything. I just like watching films. And we have just finished Captain America, and she said that was okay, actually pretty good. Let's work through the rest of them. So
Oh no, that's a commitment.
this is the start of a new thing. So yeah, quite excited by that.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, just
That's Jim's fantasy is that I will watch all the Marvel movies with him. He's a big comic book guy.
okay.
Yeah, he's in he's gotten the boys. I don't know if he's gotten them or they have become very into Spider-Man.
Mhm.
We started with them. His whole plan was for us to have one DC baby and one Marvel baby. So we had Batman and Spider-Man, but they're both kind of into Spider-Man right now.
Is he quite even between DC and Marvel, or does he have a certain allegiance? Has he got more comics of one set? And
I'm going to tell you, Ross, there's about 1,000 of them.
okay,
I'm not sure I could tell the difference.
okay, and they all made their way to Germany.
They did.
Right.
They
Okay.
did. But our timer is up and we must move on.
Oh, okay. Okay. How convenient. Okay. So, Dana, what do you want to talk about in the world of work and industry today?
Okay. So, a conversation I was having with a founder this past week led to a LinkedIn post I wrote, which was, I think, not meant to be divisive or controversial, but maybe had that kind of spin where I was talking about how a logo is not a sales strategy. And in fact, a logo is a poor investment if you do not have a sales strategy. And I've talked to a lot of people who are in the early stages. I work with a lot of early stage companies, and their general belief is that they have this running to do list. You're going to start your business, you're going to get a logo, you're going to get a catchy name, you're going to get a really good website, and then the clients will start pouring in. And I was trying to explain to this person, and I think I hurt her feelings a little bit, and I wasn't trying to, but I was just telling her like that's a waste of money. A logo right now is a waste of money because you can sell without a logo. You can sell without a website. You can sell without a brand. Case in point, you've done it, Ross. I've done it. A lot of people have done it. And once you have sold enough to substantiate that kind of budget, you can buy yourself a really nice logo. And it's not an investment against the business because you've already earned the money. So I'm saying not only just sell it before you build it, sell it before you brand it. We can't hear your nod. Or your mic drop gesture.
You don't need a logo. And depending on who you are and what company you're putting together, if you're just a freelancer,
Mm-hmm.
your logo is your face and your name. And there's no sense of making it looking more aesthetic. Weren't you saying, Dana, that people are going to sleep at night thinking about their logo and them needing to do something about it before
Yeah.
everything? Yeah,
Yeah. It's hanging over your head. It's something that you're really concerned about.
which is just not the case. One I know of an agency in Amsterdam that for the first 2 years they did not have a website.
Hmm.
What they did have was the chops to go out a network and build up connections and talk to people and listen and do that and make sales, all without any sense of branding or can you find me on Google?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right.
I don't know what book you're reading and chapter 2 is you need a logo.
I think that's a sense of and a desire to have a personal brand or to have a brand in general. And there's this association with a quality look of a brand and the perception of quality. If you it's almost like you feel like you have to have these things for credibility before anyone will buy from you. But I'm saying that that's not the case. I mean, my
Yeah.
most recent venture, I've sold without a website for the last what, 4 months, 3 months. I didn't have a website. I still don't have a logo. I'm working on the branding right now. I'm working on the website right now, but I'd already sold for several months before that happened. You really don't need it. And I think when you think about investing money in a sales strategy, it's not like investing money in a logo because it's not something that you're buying and it's handed over to you. A logo is kind of tangible.
Hmm.
A sales strategy you're paying for, you're probably paying for a consultant or some kind of research, which is really important, but you can also do those things yourself. And those things don't require a tremendous amount of training. It doesn't take experience to listen to your customer and figure out what they want and figure out how to explain what you do to them. And that's what a sales strategy is. You don't need anything more than that. That will sell you. That will buy you a logo. That will buy you a banging website.
Hmm. Instead of thinking about that logo, they should be thinking about the sales strategy. Is that what you're
Absolutely, they
saying?
should. Yeah.
And for anyone that does want a logo, you can just find a designer and work with them to get you something you want, or you can just create something yourself. It kind of doesn't matter. It is not in the top 10 things that you should be doing if you're looking to grow your customer base, improve your sales technique, grow your revenue. A logo will not get any of these things. I've seen so many companies that feel like they need a rebrand when actually they need a better sales strategy.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Like a lick of paint isn't really going to change the game. And if you're not listening to your customers and responding to their comments or their bad reviews, a different logo ahead of your website is not going to change anything. And
You,
actually, I think rebrands come from companies that have nothing further valuable to say.
it comes from a sense that something is wrong and you don't know what to do, and that's your solution. That's your band-aid.
All the European car companies have recently rejigged their logo or updated their brand and put together a nice mood video, but they haven't shown what they've actually been innovating on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's boring.
Do you know what we call that?
Yeah.
Do you know what we call that in the US, in the
No.
South at least? Lipstick on a pig.
Lipstick on the pig.
It's still a pig.
You got to re-engineer your pig.
Yeah, or I don't know, get a giraffe. I'm not really sure. This metaphor
Mm.
isn't really working now.
Mm. But address the elephant in the room.
Yes, with lipstick
Okay.
and a dress. Yeah. So on that subject, personal branding, because you're doing a lot of that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's shift gears. So I want to talk about personal branding. If I haven't not been talking about it recently, it's because work gets real busy. You're just pushed and pulled. I like personal branding. I like putting things out there, and I've tried to get in the mode of doing that with less effort. Probably the most successful thing I've done in the last few years is I run a near weekly newsletter, and I've done that. And once you start, once I start, I get the sense that I don't want to disappoint anyone, especially myself. So I just keep on going. And, by the way, happy third episode of the podcast, everyone.
Yay.
Got past the pilot. So Yeah, I think personal branding in 2021 is, and you've been great at this, Dana,
Thanks.
is working out how to communicate on Clubhouse. I think it is about keeping the things that have been working going, email, regular posts on LinkedIn, Twitter, Insta, wherever. What else would you say, Dana? What else is personal branding in 2021?
I think it's important to differentiate that we're not talking about personal branding, like a logo, for instance, or a
Yeah,
really well designed website, but more so a content strategy that helps speak to the types of people you'd like to work with and get you the type of work you'd like to have. And I think it's professional in nature. Would you agree?
yeah. You just mentioned being different. Being different is probably the biggest thing you have to be in 2021 going forwards.
But
I
everybody's
work,
different.
and
So it's
everyone's
really
different,
hard.
and you need to celebrate that difference. I work with, global enterprise companies, and their key strategy is to be different because they can't compete on price, they can't compete on innovation in the short term. What they can do is live their values and be different and communicate that difference. So I think personal branding in 2021 is about communicating your difference. You should not be for everyone. That essentially is a failure in your branding.
Yes.
You shouldn't be for everyone.
Agreed. There should be people who say, "Oh, gross. This is not for me. I hate this." Good. You want those people because the opposite is that people who do resonate with it will feel the exact opposite of that feeling. They'll be like, "Oh, man, this is exactly." Which can I brag for a second? Is that okay? Is this bragging corner?
Brag ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So quick brag. I have been working on my personal brand for probably well, it started a year ago, but I took a huge break because I had no childcare. And then it kind of picked back up again a couple months ago. And I decided that I was tired of trying to look bigger than I was. I was trying to speak to things that I wasn't specifically an expert in. I just limited my topics. I followed basically content strategy 101, which I've never done before. And I just started speaking in my own voice and not trying to sound smart, just trying to sound like me. And for the first time ever, and I've been self employed and self marketing for 15 years, 14 years, I am getting messages from people who, first of all, people I only know through the internet, or people who I haven't talked to in 6 or 7 years, or people who are the parent of a child of someone I met like 10 years ago. I don't know, just like the most random people, coworkers from long ago. And they're all telling me the same thing. They're giving me this encouragement. They're saying, "Love what you're putting out. Love the voice. This is so fun to read and I feel like you love it." And I don't know about you, Russ, but like I don't get that kind of feedback from content. That's not something that I normally experience. That's not, I don't know, being a content creator, that's not the normal experience. So I'm screenshotting all of these. I'm filing them away for my low self-esteem bank. I will visit them when my imposter syndrome hits. I will visit them on a dark day. But it is just so cool and that has never happened before. So I'm feeling super proud of myself, but also feeling like, okay, I have hit a personal branding stride here.
Isn't it funny how when you do what you love, things start working out?
Kind of amazing. And
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm writing any differently. I mean, I've been a writer for a very long time. I write, I feel like I write the same, but for some reason, my tone is coming across differently and people are really picking up on the vibe.
Yes. And do you think you're putting effort in because it's your name across the door? Do you think there's some kind of, I have to be really on it because if I'm not, the buck stops with me? Do you think there's
You
a sense
know,
of accountability
Ross, that
in
is
it?
a really interesting point because this is the first time in my self-employment life where I've just been Dana Publicover. And I mean, I was Dana Dilly Hunt before. Laugh all you want. But I've always had a company name. I was Tiny Pinata. I was Dash Creative. I was DD Strategy. I was photography company many years ago, DD Photography. I've never just been my name with no clever little brand. So that's a really cool observation. Huh.
But it also makes it hard. Like it's when you're trying to be objective about yourself, it's much harder because you're not saying what's the vision for this thing that I'm building. It's like, what's my vision?
Yeah,
But that's exciting too.
it is. It is. And it's like, what are my beliefs and what are my values and what do I want to talk about? And if I want to talk about my kids, that's fine. And if I want to talk about, I don't know, my cool friend Ross, maybe I'll talk about that. It's interesting to be a business and a person and find those things in the same house now. Like, I've been a solopreneur before. This is not new to me, but this particular version of it is very different. So that was my bragging section of the podcast.
Happy to have it. Maybe we'll make it a regular feature.
Brag segment. Yes. Do you have anything to brag about? I can brag for you. Is that allowed?
Yeah, although I haven't really done anything. Wait until we get to our ambitions because it's going to be another no-show from Ross. But yeah, carry on.
Oh no. Well, I was just going to say that I think your newsletter is great and I really look forward to it. You have this the way you curate some really, really fascinating links and they're always kind of around the same subjects. And I like the segments where you have it's product, it's UX, it's design. I think there's like an organizational one as well, but it's always solid content. It's a good roundup of the internet. It's a nice industry summary, and I think you do a really good job with that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, long time reader.
Long time reader, first time
caller, first time podcaster.
The newsletter was actually inspired by someone's newsletter that I followed, and what he would do is have this personal intro and then get the best bits from the web. What I realized about that was you really only have to create half a newsletter. The rest of it is just stuff from the web. But the value is in you curating it.
Oh yeah, it's lazy for sure for me because I get to read it.
What I like about it is I never want to be the person putting out the same content as everyone else. There is so much out there right now. I think it is so much more, I think it's more authentic to just highlight the good out there rather than look at the good and kind of write it yourself and then put your name after it. Like there's so many. I have quite a few connections on LinkedIn and most of them say the same things. And it's because one person starts and then another person and then it all feels very samey.
I feel the same about sales and marketing. And it's I call it sales bros and sales bro marketing. Because it's the same, like those launch sequence emails. It's you've all read.com secrets and you've all done exactly to the book what it says to do. And there's no room for expression or authenticity or deviating from these proven formulas. And I've A/B tested landing pages where I just talk about the thing and a landing page where I follow the format. And they convert about equally for me, which I kind of wanted one to be a clear winner. Honestly, that would have been helpful. It took me a long time to want to start a newsletter because I didn't want to write that kind of newsletter. And then I decided, like everything else a couple of months ago, to just write the kind of newsletter I want. And guess what? It's working.
Yeah.
You don't have to sound like the format. You don't have to sound like the template. The people who hate it will unsubscribe. The people who like it will love it. Same as anything else.
I mean, does this sound familiar? Hey, I figured it out. I've got this 10-point strategy and you're seeing me on Facebook. All you need to do is go to this free training that is on this link, but you have to give me your email address and you'll just receive emails from me nearly every day.
Yes.
And when you come to that free trainings, why it's in plural, I never know.
It doesn't make sense. That's not English.
You, I will talk about something. I'll essentially mirror your problems and then hint at the solution. And just as I'm getting to the 60-minute mark, I'm going to then point out something else that you need to sign up to.
Bam, upsell.
There's a very special offer for you. Normally it's this huge number, and for you, because you've had the pain of going through my 60-minute free trainings, it's a one-time offer, and it's this amount of money if you sign up in the next 30 seconds.
And the bonuses, don't forget the bonuses.
Oh, the bonuses, and listen to all these people that have benefited from it.
Yes. And
it's
then
just
when you
noise.
do that, and then it's like it's the value ladder. It's the entry point of the free thing, and then the upsell, and then the lifelong coaching commitment and whatever. And it's like, I understand that it's a model that works and it's a model that creates urgency and people buy it. However, I don't think that's a model that I want to use.
I don't want it. If that is the model for getting rich, then I'm not going to be rich, and that's fine. I'll just be happy and authentic instead.
And really poor.
Well, then at least we work, and I like working. So
that's true. That's true. We will be rich in friendship and moderately well-paying clients. And that's our time.
Okay then.
So we move on. Oh, this is the fun part. This is where we talk about our learnings, our current interests. Let me get our timer going here.
Because a whole week has passed and we have new interests.
Oh, you have new interests. Yes, as do I. You go first this time.
Okay. Yeah. So I have, started to boost my my media and my content. And one thing that I really suffer from as a UX designer is messing around with my website. And I've done that for a while. Recently, I've moved it to Webflow, and I think it's going to sit there for a bit.
It looks really good.
It's a theme I found and paid $49 or something, because I know if I designed it from scratch, I would still be designing it. I know my own problems, and I'm a hapless tweaker, and I would never stop.
I hope that goes in your bio. Ross Chapman, hapless tweaker.
Yeah. But on font pairings, it is so hard to work out which font to use. You could just go with mass and go with circular like Spotify and everyone else. You can go for something really, really interesting and useful. Most of the good ones are licensed in a certain way. So I find font pairings really tricky. I think I know what I like, but sometimes I change. And I'm reading up on what are good font pairings to use. I think in this day and age, Google Fonts won't cover it all. And you can go with something kind of selective, but yeah, I'm just super interested in it, because I think that's the bit of creativity that I have, aside from picking a Webflow theme and kind of doing what I want. And actually, on that point, the reason that I pick themes or use Canva for graphics or do all these kind of hack shortcut things is that it lets me focus on the content. Because I consider this all to be the art gallery, and I'm focusing on the art. You know, the website is the white walls, and whatever you put there is the art. And I need to be creating blog posts and information and people getting my bio and things like that. So
it's not important for you to be represented by groundbreaking, unique, and special design. You don't need a fancy logo, but your content are the legs that your stuff is going to stand on. I think that absolutely makes sense.
Totally.
Now, tell me, what's your favorite font right now?
Oh, I thought it was grotesque, but I looked it up and it's definitely not. The one I like at the moment is there's one on Creative Boom. I think it's called ABC something. Let me just look it up.
ABC in you?
ABC Diatype. That is my favorite font right now. What
Okay,
is yours? Because I know you've been looking at
I've
font
been
pairings.
fonting around. Fonting about recklessly. I have fallen for a Google sweetheart named Carla with a K.
Carla with K. I know Carla.
You know Carla. A lot of people
Yeah.
know Carla. A lot of people know
Mhm.
Carla. She gets around, but she's kind of a get along girl. You know, she pairs well with a lot of others, including Libre Baskerville, which I am also very into. Just a gorgeous serif. Looks great with Carla.
So yeah, I'm super interested in font pairings. Dana, what is going on with interesting, cool stuff for you this week?
Well, I'm working well, I'm working on my website, clearly, and those are the two fonts on my website. And that's kind of been consuming most of my energy, but because of that, I've been listening to a lot of background music. And
Hmm.
I was talking to a friend of mine who's my age, and I think this is going to be a really regional reference. Regional meaning like the US really specifically in 1998. So we were talking about this commercial that used to come on advertising a CD collection called Pure Moods.
Pure.
And
Steph loves Pure
do
Moods.
you, oh my gosh, so this was in the UK too. Okay, so
Oh
it's
no, she loves it.
Enya and Enigma, Mono. Yeah, so this is what I was listening to in like late 90s, early aughts. Is that is that correct? I think it's the aughts. Yeah. Um completely
Isn't it called
forgot
the
about
Naughties?
the naughties. I'm
The
not for
Naughties.
me. I was
No.
I was listening to Pure Moods in my bedroom, writing in my journal. So no.
Okay.
Um and also reading a lot of Jane Austen. But yeah, so had kind of forgotten about it for a while, recently remembered it, tracked down the entire track list from the original Pure Mood CD and created a playlist on Spotify. So I now have my own Pure Moods collection. Really
Hmm.
excited about it. So that's been really good website music, honestly. And I put it on the other day for the kids. They hated it. But to be fair, they hate most music that I listen to. They're always like, please turn this off. Please turn it off. I don't like it. And Jim thought it, but he didn't say it.
Yeah,
So yeah, Pure Moods. It's a vibe, and it's a vibe I'm really into right now.
it is a mood.
Music to personal brand to.
Hmm.
Or take a bath with candles like in the commercial. I mean, whatever. Whatever you're feeling. Anyhow, that's what I'm into.
Anywho,
So
awesome.
yeah. Well, we finished that segment a little early, but we don't need the extra time because we can just move into our ambitions.
Okay.
So, Ross, what was your ambition from last week? What were you going to do? I think it was social media related.
If I remember correctly, I was going to finish some IGTVs because I made
Oh,
half of it already. Yeah.
yeah. Did
Hmm.
you do it?
No.
No.
No, I had something come up this week which took all my attention. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Oh,
But what I will do
man of
for,
mystery.
I know, what I will do is get those done because there were quite a few. And I probably should edit these podcasts, Dana.
I think that's a good ambition. I'd
Hmm.
like to add an ambition to you. I'm going to want you to review my website because you always,
Okay.
Ross does this thing where he reviews your website. He sends you a loom and he narrates through going through your website and he asks like really dumb questions that are just so loving in nature but make you feel like such an idiot. Like, how could I have been this stupid when I made this website?
They make you
And
feel like shit, essentially.
But it's like I simultaneously feel like the biggest idiot on the planet and also like incredibly just loved because I think it's such a nice act of friendship to review someone's website in that amount of depth and detail. He's blushing.
I know where I get this from as well. I've had some tough colleagues in the past few years, and they would go, "What's this all about? Why have you done it like this? What's the strategy here?" And you're just like, so yeah, I mirror, as you well know.
Well, I
So
used to think I was a good writer, and then you read my headline like 6 times, and you're like trying to make sense of it, and I'm like, I I guess I don't know how to write after all.
I'm not a very good user.
Or
I
a very good user, one would argue, because your product is only as good as your worst user.
okay, yeah,
Right? Isn't that a thing?
good,
Did I make that up? If I made
good
that up,
call.
put it on a shirt because that was good.
So do you want me to do a Loom video or not?
Now I don't know. Now that I talked through it, um, you are a hapless tweaker, so maybe I don't know, maybe you'll tweak it up.
Maybe I'll just do it and do a screenshot of it.
So
Okay.
that's your to-do list.
All
My
right. What are you? What are you?
Okay, I'm gonna finish this website because I've come this far.
Yeah, but
And
is it ever really finished, Dana?
no, it's not. It's never finished because I'm gonna change probably the fonts again and probably all of the content and always rewrite. My headline changes probably daily, honestly.
Hmm.
No, it's not that much. Oh, but my ambitions for last week, I was going to do a sales push for Pitchcraft and try to get a couple enrollments. I did do some personal reach out and get one or two of those. So that's nice.
Yeah.
And I think I'm
You kind of did it.
yeah, I kind of did mine. So, you
Wow.
know.
That's a podcast first. Actually
Well,
did what you set out to do.
I said I was going to sell 3 to 5 when I sold 1 to 2. I'm going to say 1.5 because 1 is slightly unconfirmed. I get
Yeah.
credit for 1.
And anyone that sells, it doesn't happen in a week.
No,
Come
it doesn't
on.
happen in a week, but this is a class. This is a product. I'm really and unlike the value ladder, there is no upsell in this class. This is just let me help you learn how to sell. So, I don't know. I'm still excited about it. I have a really good group of people enrolled in the class and like my ambition was 2 weeks ago, I'm going to do those course materials and get those all finished up. So, I'll work on that this week too. Well, those are the
Good.
ambitions. And
They are there.
that's how I think that's it.
Awesome.
Leave us a review if you liked it. That helps people find it. Follow us. I think that makes the algorithm think it's a good podcast. Pretty sure. I don't know a lot about podcasts or algorithms, but that feels true.
Mm-hmm.
And listen to Pure Moods and relax, light a candle, take a bath, do your website. That seems good. I don't know. I'm good with that. That's all the advice I have.
Yeah.
Okay. We will see you next week. Go get it.